All right. Well, let's move on. I want to talk about Disney and what they're doing to change their parental controls. I had a very strong question when they announced that they were moving. It's funny. I'm still calling them Netflix Marvel shows, even though they're not on Netflix anymore because they were all conceived and designed around the Netflix model. I was like, where the hell are they going to put these shows? Because the body count alone in The Punisher is insanely high, and the violence in Daredevil is insanely high. I was it you? No, you'd already seen it. I was trying to explain to a friend of mine, what was so great about Daredevil, and I'm like, it's violent and I'm trying to say this in a way that's like, because it's not just that. Obviously, there's other elements that it's like, yeah, like. In episode 2, when Kingpin decapitates a dude with the car door, it's like my experience. I sent the clip to literally Vincent D'Onofrio beheading somebody with a car door. Literally,
you could teach kids about physics with that.
Yes,
a certain amount of force levied at
So how does Disney, family friendly Disney, reconcile Disney Plus, which is very user family friendly, with decapitating car door characters and ultra violent?
Okay,
that's what I thought.
I kind of wonder if you put it on Hulu, maybe, but also like if we, how we talk about pretty often that like what the cost of subscribing to all of these things are.
Yeah.
Like having some more violent shows, it's just like Disney After Hours. So like you subscribe to Disney Plus if you're a family, right? And it has all kinds, like it actually there's Disney produces a lot of content for a bunch of age
have
groups.
a Disney Plus bundle. They just advertised another commercial to me where it basically you get Disney Plus, Hulu, and then the sports channel. What's it called?
ESPN.
Yeah, so basically you get all three in a Disney bundle for a set price.
See, that makes sense to me. And like I wonder,
but what was the cost on that? It was probably in the $50 to $60 range.
I think so. I wasn't paying attention because I already have them. So
yeah,
I don't really care for
but
it.
I wonder if you do save. But that's different. Like, but no, it's online for what. In track for what I'm saying. Like, I am actually kind of like, oh, I think I see what you're doing here. Like, you need to have a variety of content, and you have to justify like someone paying for your service. So you don't want it to be like, get Disney Plus so your kids can watch whatever.
So it says Daredevil and its fellow Netflix shows, because they're not Netflix shows, they're just Marvel shows, have a new home, Disney Plus. And with those additions, the streamer is retooling parental controls due to the Marvel series' dark themes, graphic violence, especially The Punisher. The body count in The Punisher is extremely, extremely high. Disney announced this week that Daredevil and the Charlie Cox-led Marvel series, in addition to Jessica Jones, which has strong themes of sexual assault, abuse, and coercion, very, very heavy adult themes. Luke Cage, a lot of violence in there, though not as not quite at the same level. The tone is a little bit more even, is a little bit less dark than that of Daredevil.
And then Iron Fist just sucks.
Poor Iron Fist, poor Jessica Henwick being the best part of a show that nobody really liked, but I mean, I actually kind of liked it, but I understood why everybody hated it. I have an affinity, like maybe it's like a part of my personality where when people don't like something, I want to like it. So, like, you know what? It's fine. Like, I want to root for the underdog.
Is that how your
just be
dating
defiant.
life is going?
No, he's like, I'm so unique and different. I like things other people don't like.
No, it's not that. It's not like I'm doing it with like snobby art house movies, and so this is like a very normie thing that people don't like, and I'm like, I just look for like the good elements in it. Now I still see the bad stuff, but I'm also a lot more driven by character. So Jessica Henwick is very, very likable and very, very charismatic on screen, and that goes a long way. In getting me to fall in love with the show. Is like I give a lot of leeway to shows that have really good leads, even if the rest of the show may not add up in the same way.
This is the reason why we have terrible shows, because Brett keeps on watching them because it has one good lead.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just blaming you for a terrible show like Iron Fist still being in existence.
How many of these? Sorry to interrupt. How many of these shows have you guys both seen?
I've seen all of these.
I've seen like clips of them. Like I tried to watch Iron Fist for the life of me, and I couldn't do it.
Well, that was a horrible one to start with.
Well,
I've heard of Jessica Jones, and I think that's it.
Daredevil was the first one that came out.
Well,
Iron Fist was the last one that came out. I'm sorry, the Punisher was the last one that came out.
Yeah, well, for me, the first one that they advertised to me on Netflix was Iron Fist.
Okay.
And so I tried my best.
Iron Fist was objectively very bad. I understand that. That's fine. But Daredevil is very, very good. Jessica Jones season 1 is very, very good. Luke Cage, I could take it or leave it, but the action was good enough that it made it worth watching for a lot of people. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of a cult hit. It got 7 seasons, did very, very well. Miracle is a huge fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., launched the career of a lot of the actors in that got
Ming.
Well, no, she was big before. Ming
I know,
Wen,
but like you just see her and she's like ageless too.
Chloe Bennett. Was her career is flourishing now, I believe. So it says all the shows will be available March 16 on Disney Plus. It says with the addition of the series, Disney Plus users will be prompted to update the parental controls as a way of, I'm guessing, keeping younger kids off of it. So it says the Netflix Marvel series. See, they're still calling it the Netflix Marvel series for a show that's not going to be on Netflix anymore. Will be the most mature content on the streamer in the U.S. So thus far on Netflix, Daredevil and Punisher had TVMA ratings, meaning they were not suitable for viewers under the age of 17, which is essentially the same thing as an R-rated movie. A lot of swear words, a lot of cussing in those shows.
Is, like, you know how for Netflix shows, like in the beginning, like they always show the end sign. Are they going to cut that out because that's in every episode?
Yeah, I'm sure that gets. It'd be funny if they left it in. They just cover it with a Disney logo, and like you can still see the edges of the end. Like
yeah, and it makes the Netflix iconic sound too.
But then Mickey Mouse laughs at the end.
Yeah.
So it says the parental controls are already in effect in Europe, and that include the option to add content restrictions for each profile, as well as add a pin lock. So that's a pretty proactive approach to it. I still think it's funny because they had a lot of like trigger warnings to shows, the ones that they don't pull down entirely. It says last month Disney began adding more adult skewing fare but nothing as violent as The Punisher. Disney licensed its Marvel shows to Netflix as part of a 2013 pact. What the heck is a pact? Is that different than a contract?
It's probably a different legal entity.
Okay.
Like sort of like a contract, but like another word for agreement. So it's probably a legal word that stipulates a type of agreement.
So there's another article here that I found that it kind of connects to it. It says Disney Plus grows up, but what about Hulu? That is the real question, right? Hulu has fast become taken the lead as my favorite of the streaming services.
Yeah. I thought HBO Max was.
HBO, as far as new content, I'm finding more stuff on there that I'm enjoying. But Hulu just tends. First of all, the user menu is much more user. I would ditch Amazon Prime just for how bad the interface is on Amazon. Like you can it's the only place in the world where like I'll look up like a season of the show House, but it literally lets you pull up individual seasons. So you're not even going to the season rather than just clicking on a show and then clicking a sub menu with the seasons. You accidentally click on a season you have no interest in watching, then you have to go back and through. And like when like you click left or like right with your Roku remote or whatever, it's always like farther ahead. Like the one you selected is back here, but the screen is forward. So you're like where a normal on a normal menu, the one where how far it scrolled forward, you'd be in the middle of the screen, but it's back here.
Yeah.
It's just very, very bad.
Yeah, I getcha.
But so I don't want to see Disney start neglecting Hulu.
I don't think they will.
That would be my hope. So it says the Walt Disney Company stunned Wall Street February 9th, revealing that its flagship Disney Plus streaming service added 11.8 million subscribers in the quarter, bringing its total to nearly 130 million, outpacing even the most optimistic of Wall Street estimates. A lot of that comes from like people got signed up for it automatically when they renew phone contracts. And they got free
or when you get like your internet installed, they'll like offer it to you, and then they're like, now we've charged you for it.
Yeah.
So while Netflix stumbled last quarter with its subscriber growth slowing, Disney was able to step on the gas, and Disney Plus CEO Bob Chapek believes that the company can keep the momentum going. We are not nearly tapped out in each of our major franchises, Chapek said, of the core Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel brands that underpin Disney Plus. Well, Pixar is becoming very disheartened because their movies keep going straight to Disney Plus and not to theaters, and they want their stuff going to theaters. Star Wars is a crapshoot at best with everything. Nobody likes the sequel trilogy. And The Mandalorian was the only thing people actually liked. And then what happened with Gina Carano killed what little goodwill they had regained. Boba Fett was almost lethargic in its press. Nobody I knew cared about Boba Fett. Even people who like Star Wars didn't care about Boba Fett. And Marvel brands, those are still theater first releases for most of the stuff. And there's like a good amount of excitement for Moon Knight, but not a ton. It says, but he added the company is beginning to lean more into adult fare as well. Chapek is one of those guys who's very numbers oriented. So if he thinks that the numbers are
he was
good,
the Parks
he was
executive before this, which
Yes,
that's what you operate off of.
Very, very smart. Yes, he was. Bob Iger wants to run for president.
Really?
That's cool.
Isn't that no, it's not. That's a terrifying prospect. He just buy other countries. That's all he'd do. That's how he made Disney popular. He just bought things.
Just imagine that everything that he makes, it's just like Bob Iger.
This is the Iger method of presidential debate. This is the Iger method. He's a virtue signaling douche canoe. I'm not a huge fan of that guy.
But the only reason why I said it'd be cool because imagine him like he's in like trades. He's like, I'll give you this amount of money. Just buy that island.
Well, yeah, but now just imagine he's
now
doing
it's
that
a U.S. territory.
Here's the problem.
Like, my big objective for the United States is to buy land and name it after myself.
Exactly.
Do not name a highway after me. I want more land.
Yeah. Okay,
He buys the Baja Peninsula off of California and it becomes the Iger Peninsula.
That's and just imagine that. Like it's annoying enough when he does it with Disney's money. Now he's going to do it with your money. He's gonna use your tax money to buy things and name it Iger.
I want to see Seamus like make a Freedoms tune of that.
Igerville.
He launches an attack on the maritime provinces in Canada and calls them the Iger Islands.
The Igerville and the Iger Islands. It says, so the biggest opportunity, though, in terms of significance, is with general entertainment being added to the service, Chapek said on the company's earnings call, adding that there, quote, will be a trend of us taking more general entertainment and moving it over to Disney Plus, whether from ABC, Hulu, or elsewhere. So they are planning to take from which eventually will probably affect the price because Disney Plus is one of the cheaper of the streaming services.
I'm assuming they're trying to consolidate somehow. Like they're trying to not pay for 3 different brands. No,
I feel like they do well though because like I watch a lot of I skip Disney Plus a lot because when I think of Disney, I think of animated movies.
But that's what they're trying to change, right?
Like, yeah, they're trying to do more live action, but their live action movies are like a hit or miss.
But it's also for. But I'm saying when I think of Disney Plus, I think for children.
But like I said at the top of this, like I think if they're trying to be like, okay, if we only can get people to stick, like they have a bundle, but if they can only get you to subscribe to one, they want you to buy Disney Plus, probably because they have the most rights to it. That's where most of their content is already.
They own Hulu,
right? But like they own Disney first. I'm sure there's stuff on Hulu that like they would use differently, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Like I remember, like Hulu does do like live streaming and stuff, right?
You can do live
television, whereas you can't with Disney Plus. So they made that their live platform, but Disney Plus was where you got like. So then they consolidate ESPN into Hulu, right, or something like that. Obviously, Bob doesn't have me on the calls, so I don't totally know.
Well, I would love it, but.
Well, like I do think that they're like making it so people don't continue to think, oh, this is where you can watch Snow White and Cinderella, you know.
So well, they're trying, like as you said, they're trying their best. But like Hulu, you can watch like a lot of adult things. Like I know, like Hulu during Halloween, they will push a lot of like their Halloween scary and horror flicks.
So it says they
and there's some cool features on Disney Plus. Like you can. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
They added the Wonder Years, Grown-ish, and Blackish to Disney Plus, which are
well, and think of those. Like a lot of those are transitional age group shows.
And it says they also stream on Hulu, so they're on both. So they could do that.
Yeah.
They could put them on both. If you own both, you could put them on both platforms.
Well, certain Disney Plus cartoons like no, not Disney Plus, Disney XD cartoons like Gravity Falls, if you click it on Hulu, they will have it, but like a hot minute for like 2 months straight. You couldn't watch it on Hulu. You had to watch it on Disney Plus because they said if like you don't pay for the live TV option, then you have to go to a different app.
Or they might start just launching stuff initially on Disney Plus and then being like, so you have early access to it. Like, can you imagine Euphoria was so crazy popular? Like, if they were like, oh, season 2 is only going to be available on Disney Plus, like a ton of people would have subscribed. It has such an intense following.
It's that's kind of the Game of Thrones model, is pushing everyone to HBO, forcing everyone to have HBO Max, or at the time HBO Go, because Game of Thrones was so popular.
And then they're like, but if you want it later, we'll send it out. I mean, it becomes like the home release version, right? Like, you could go to the theaters and see it, or you could wait however many months and then take out the VHS tape at the video store.
So it says Disney Plus, Disney and Comcast are in arbitration over Hulu. Okay, so Hulu is owned by Disney and Comcast. Okay. Once that is resolved and Comcast receives its payout, the company will have even more flexibility to shift its programming around. In the meantime, Disney has begun to break down just how much money it is spending on programming and production for its streaming services. The company spent about $920 million on Disney Plus in the last quarter, compared with $427 million on ESPN Plus and $1.8 billion on Hulu, driven by its live TV service. So that's...
Wait, can I just double back to something else that you messed? Okay, there's a paragraph that says, with more than 50% of Disney Plus subscribers not having kids, per Shapek, the need to add more content to appeal to their taste rises. Yep. So there is a component of, like, with Grownish, it's transitional, right? Like, it's like you could watch that as a teenager, but you could also watch it into your 20s.
So it's the ABC shows, that's like Pretty Little Liars, right? It was like an ABC, it was like a ABC family show.
Like, you and I watch Pretty Little Liars and react to it. Something no one asked for several years ago.
I have a very soft spot for those first few seasons.
I do too. I don't know why.
I can't help it. I'm not proud to admit that.
And you know where I watched that? On Hulu.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I remember when Hulu used to be free.
Yeah, you just had to watch like 87 ads. Initially, it was only 3, and then it got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, it did.
It's just,
No, like, I remember, like, when Hulu was still, like, for free, like, they'll ask you, like, sign up for your account. And I'm like, nah. And it still let me watch it. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, I used to like that. Or Pushing Daisies, which I think is one of the best TV shows ever. You know, that was on. So it was like stuff that I wasn't necessarily hearing about all the time. I was like, oh.
Well, like, for me, I used to watch Hulu for animes because, like, they'll release it on their official website. So, like, this was during the time when Naruto Shippuden was, like, releasing, like, new episodes every Friday. So if you wanted to watch it on their official website, which is like VIZ Media, it took like a long time to see them, so Hulu will have it and it'll release that Friday. So you just watch, but they only have like sub, and then dub you have to wait like maybe 2 days after. It was like the greatest thing ever. Like, I was watching Bleach and Naruto Shippuden like nonstop.
That's so funny.
It was always going to get worse. I remember when everyone started switching off regular cable and got streaming. I'm like, it's just going to end up just like cable. It's just going to be you're just going to have more control over what you watch in any given moment.
But at the time, it was the most cost-effective option, right?
Yes, it was.
Well, like, I don't know. Like, just imagine, because cable gives you unwanted channels that you don't need.
Well, yeah, and plus you didn't get to pick what you wanted to watch. You still had to watch what they wanted you to watch at a given time. You just had more control over channels. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll follow this. I'm interested to see if they start creating more. Like they're talking about doing an actual Disney continuing Daredevil on Disney Plus, and that will be a good test model. That if it is not exactly as dark and as violent as the first 3 seasons, then I don't want them to continue, because that's stupid. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.